chug some beers and make some bad gambling picks. Welcome to ChuggieBets.
Matto, you have Auburn to win at plus 500. They're offering you a cash out at like plus 250. But it's fourth and goal
I saw this.
from the 31
Close.
with 30 seconds left. Do you take it, or do you so if you had $100 on this, you would win 600 if you had the plus 500. They're paying 600, or you could just take your 300 and go. Do you take it, or do you?
I'm letting it ride.
I let it ride. I fucking let it ride. All right, go.
No, look, if I was in their situation, and I told the boys this earlier, I'm probably kicking the field goal and hoping for the onside kick because the chances of converting a 4th and 31 are very low. But they're not impossible.
The chances in college of converting a 48-yard field goal are also very low, Matt.
That's true.
Well, Danny, did you ask this because you saw that some guy had 10 grand on Auburn money line and they cashed out right then?
No, I saw it because I had Auburn money line and I didn't cash out.
No, 10 grand, I'm cashing out. $100, I'm letting
10 grand in, cash out for 60 grand, or it would have been like 72 grand, 74 grand if it
that's the only difference.
They won. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
wow,
that's a pretty small
incredible story.
Yeah, but you're also like that's an extra like 12, 14 grand or whatever, and it's one play.
On one play from fourth and goal from the 31.
Fuck. I mean, I knew it was gonna happen. I was so pissed.
Danny, I totally forgot that you sent that text yesterday that you went in on Auburn money line. That sucks, dude. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Well, it gets even better because he had the Auburn money line live, but he also laid the 14 with Bama. So
yeah, I lost that on 2 levels.
He middled himself.
He middled himself.
Well, at least he left himself a small window for that to happen in.
I Mario Cristobal myself.
So there used to be a term for that in gambling. It was called a Polish middle, which I don't think we can call it that anymore. So maybe we can call it with our own term for it.
Yeah, you're talking to a couple of Polacks over here, okay? Listen.
Yeah.
At least
you're okay. You're okay saying Polish middle.
Yeah.
All right. Good to know.
I've never been more offended, Andy.
Yeah. Well, that was a wild game. It was a great day for football. Chris, I know you were talking
hold on. What a throw and what a catch. Totally not a push off. Totally not a push off.
That was a dime. That was like
catch.
Literally a prayer.
Got both feet in. There was like no doubt that was like I kept trying to look at it like there's got to be some way they could call this back, and there was nothing. There was nothing I could say. There was nothing I could argue about on that play.
And look, the whole time I thought Alabama was going to win, and really I bet the plus 14.5, so I was feeling great. Right, I had Auburn plus 14.5. I'm like, I got this locked up.
What's the opposite of Polish?
I don't think I want to play that game.
That's what you had.
But when I saw the ball get snapped past Milroe and like end up 20 yards, that was the first time I was like, oh yeah, Auburn's going to win this game. And boy, was I wrong. Nick Saban's reaction, even he was stunned. He like couldn't believe it on the sideline.
So what happened on that was like they went into prevent and they doubled everybody in the middle and singled on the outside, which was kind of a smart play, right? Like they got to have a perfect throw and a perfect catch in a corner if like you're singling on the outside and your corner's got to like fuck up. So like basically there's 5 guys out there and 8 guys in coverage, right? And all 3 guys in the middle are double. Yeah. They had 2 guys on the outside that were single covered. I'm like 2 guys outside and single covered. All 3 guys in the middle were double covered. So the quarterback goes out there and throws a fucking dime to the back pylon, and the dude just jumps up and catches it, and the corner had nothing he can do. It was awesome.
So Danny, you started this. You were initially going to pose a different question to start this off, and it was going to be, what would you do with 4th and 31 with 30 seconds left? Would you actually go for it and all of that? I think my answer, now that I've had time to think of it, which obviously coaches don't have 20 minutes to make this decision on the sideline, I would probably have ran something just short of the goal line so that if I didn't get it, they couldn't take a knee. You'd have to force this, you could try and get a safety to get a score. And then obviously if you complete that catch and you're able to break the play, and then you get a touchdown. So sorry, nobody asked that question, but I just answered it.
As a Miami fan, what I would have done is take a knee.
No, so you got to run it up the middle. You will not take. You got to really just punch it in there.
No, you're right. You never take a knee.
Break the plane on a 4th and 31.
Never take a knee. It definitely a 22 dive right up the middle, right next to the center. See if we can make it 31 yards.
Oh.
Well, I'm going to share with you guys my story about the Auburn-Alabama game. So we took the kids to see Santa, and it was enough time for me to come back and watch Florida State game kick off, right? Plenty of time. We leave, still plenty of time. Put the kid on the lap, took the kid off, ran in the car, go. Everybody in Atlanta was watching that fucking game in their car. Every time something happened, you see all these cars and I mean, all right, I was watching it in my car too. But that's not the fucking point. They're going like 20 miles an hour and I've got to get home. I'm just like, fucking go. But when they had the do or die play at the very end, I was just like, well, Auburn got them with the kick 6 10 years ago. I knew Alabama was going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, as bad as it is driving in Atlanta just to begin with, I can just imagine if having somewhere to be and just seeing everyone with their fucking cell phone and the video recording, just like, you're like, move, mother, just laying on the horn. But then that car moves and you have another car doing the exact same thing in front of them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Glad you survived.
But all in all, it was a great football Saturday. Yesterday was one for me.
So good.
The game at the Big House, the actual game that the actual Big House were using properly.
Which one?
Which Big House?
Yeah, a classic there. Washington State was scary. Good live betting situation there. You got some value on Washington, but I want to take it to games.
So much value on Washington during that game, man. Penix could not get any help in the first half or even in the third quarter, and then all of a sudden shit worked out for him. So
it was a crazy. All the games this weekend were awesome. This was great college football. Not as many big blowouts outside of Oregon just putting the nails to Oregon State.
And your boys are still 12
games that weren't awesome, but
your boys are still 12-0.
Hell yeah! And I do want to talk about a couple of things from the Florida State game. So, as a man, there are very few things that will make me see red faster than if you spit in my face. Defensive lineman from Florida State.
Women would disagree with you there, by the way. So, as a man, not necessary.
Yeah, I'm just defensive lineman from Florida and
different strokes for different folks.
An offensive lineman. Yeah, there was a spitting incident. A Florida player got kicked out. I swear to sweet baby Jesus, if you spit in my face, as a man, I'm going to punch you. What
you need to do, Matt, if somebody spits in your face, is you headbutt them. You go full fucking Zidane.
Have you guys have seen A Time to Kill, right?
Yeah.
It's basically the exact same thing with lower stakes.
Yeah.
No jury is going to convict you for assault if someone spits in your face.
Anytime somebody spits in somebody's face, all I think about is the Seinfeld episode of there was a second spitter.
Yeah.
That is
acting.
My sister-in-law, by the way, is going through Seinfeld, watching it all from beginning to end for the first time.
Oh,
so I keep thinking of episodes. So I'm like, did you get to this one yet? So I'm waiting for her to get to the marine biologist episode.
The seas were angry that day, my friends. That's a great episode. But I don't know.
She's not that much younger than Christine. I'm surprised she didn't watch it the first time around.
Yeah.
Am I wrong here? Am I crazy that spitting I'd rather you punch me in the face. As a man, in these uncertain times, as they were saying in 2020, you're going to spit in my face when everyone's concerned about all the shit going on in the world. Come the fuck off.
I think I'd turn into
depends on how big your
I think I would literally bite their jugular.
There's a new virus in China. That's weapon of mass destruction shit.
Guys, you guys are looking at this right.
Attempted murder.
Toby McGuire can punch me.
Nick
You guys
Swartzen.
are looking this.
Wait, Danny. I'm trying to explain a meme. So Nick Swartzen's on roller skates. No, okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Toby McGuire can punch me in the face all he wants, but like fucking Vin Diesel, I don't want any. You spit at me.
Listen,
Spit at me
if he's gonna spit on me, it better be in my mouth.
Strokes thing, right?
But so here's the thing: if Vin Diesel spits in my face, I'm gonna try to fight him. I don't care.
I'm going to, yes.
Andy, if there's a way for you to edit this to make Matt say "come" there instead, please do.
If Vin Diesel comes and spits in my face,
no, not.
Can you do that much you will?
If Vin Diesel spits in my face, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna come. That's what it is.
Instead of fight him, I'm gonna come on.
And I also, and Al, I need your referee eyes here. I know you're a part of the union.
Oh, happy.
King Dan got called for the worst unnecessary roughness. I don't know if you saw this, and it was
that was bullshit.
Oh, so bad.
I had it in the quad box, and I saw the 3rd and goal. Right, they had 3rd and goal, and it was like on the 15-yard line or close to, and it was a great sack, textbook tackle. I turn around, I go make my daughter some snacks, and I come back, and all of a sudden they scored, and I'm like, what the fuck happened?
It was a big part of the game too, because Florida was driving a lot early, but Florida State was stopping them before they got into the red zone. When you get 8 plays from the 15-yard line, eventually you're going to get some first downs, and those plays are going to convert. But that would have been 4th down, and Herbstreit threw it to whoever the fucking official in the booth. Hey, let's throw it to Gene Steratore. Or I don't know.
He loved it. It was a perfect call.
He threw it to the
Dean Blandino.
Dean Blandino. He was, and the guy was like, he's like, that's tackling. He's like, I don't know how you can call that unnecessary roughness. He's like, that was actually a very safe way to tackle the quarterback. I'm like,
hold on. The guy who's there to make the NCAA look good said it was tackling, and it was still not. Yeah. It was still called a penalty.
That's
wow.
I've never seen.
Well, that's because you can't review penalties, Danny.
You should be able to review penalties.
So
this might be a hot take.
So, Andy, before you give this take, let me just say to Matt, I understand the call that was made. I don't necessarily agree with it. I think the reason I can see why it was called, but it's ticky tack and it's.
Is that on the press release they handed you from the referees union, the ACC refs union?
Yeah.
Did you see Al do this? Because
official.
He almost started telling us about a Bart Simpson meme.
It's not official. See, it's this. It's the triangle. It's the Illuminati triangle.
No, penalties should be able to be reviewed. They should be able to be reviewed, but it shouldn't be like a 18-minute process. Like I want the games to be 7 hours long, right? I only get 11 Illinois games a season. Like, make them 7 hours long. I don't give a shit.
Did you watch Chelsea Tottenham a couple weeks ago? Because that was fucking miserable. The number of penalties that were in that they were just reviewing. We were just watching.
Make it a panel.
VAR.
It's a panel of 100 people sitting in their New York office or whatever with buttons in front of them. They watch the replay like twice. They have 15 seconds, and then they hit a button to say whether it was a penalty or not.
Andy, I've got so much good news for you. First off, you're wrong. It's if you want to enjoy a game like that, you don't have just 11 opportunities. I'm pretty sure The Voice airs. There's 2 seasons every year. If you want to watch a bunch of judges decide whether something was good or not. Secondly, if you just want to listen to people argue, you can go down to your county courthouse any day of the week and just watch a bunch of lawyers go back and forth. Or you could, run a red light, argue with a cop. You could do that every single day, 365 days, all day.
I don't think any of that has anything to do with anything I'm saying.
I almost knocked
you don't need
a fucking architecture license off the wall while trying to imitate Al.
I think the Seminoles on the pod might disagree, but I think we can all agree that if touching the quarterback's helmet is a penalty, then that was a penalty, right? He did touch the helmet. He did. It's undeniable if you watch the replay.
With his elbow.
His arm touched the helmet. It did. If that's a penalty, but
no, you're right, Andy. He touched the helmet.
If there's 100 people watching,
if your towel falls out of your belt and he touches the helmet, then that's also a penalty. Then sure, it's a penalty.
Listen, if we're talking about accidental elbow rubs, then I guess I don't need to explain a lot of cum stains.
I think here's the broader point I took from Al. Al is clearly defending the referee union, and he doesn't want the checks and balances in place because they're the judge and the jury.
Right.
I can't argue with the big referees, and they're all-knowing power. They're pieces of shit. That
to be fair, as a Canes fan, they've been on their side more often than not in the last 10 years, and I like it when the referees are on our side.
I think so. Here, if we want to actually solve refereeing officiating, I think this is how you do it. Each team gets one challenge, period.
No.
And there's no automatic reviews inside 2 minutes, because I think the fact that you can review it and the way the officials are officiating the game, knowing that there's a review process available, they do a really good job. I think before there'd be blatant missed calls, but now with the opportunity of reviewing,
or we just let these guys who are professionals that get it right like 99% of the time just make the call.
No.
Here's the thing. I think I'm right 100% of the time, and a lot of times people disagree with me.
Yeah, but these guys
so actually literally everyone's wrong.
Should coaches be allowed to throw the red flag out for a
8?
Also, I'm not sorry. Let me go back. I wasn't talking about officiating. I was talking about life in general.
All right, I think we should start the pod and do a chuggy. I don't know about you guys.
Great call.
We're recording? Oh, shit. All right. Go ahead, buddy.
Welcome to ChuggieBets. I'm Andy. That's Danny, Al, Sunshine, and Matt. We got the full gang here.
Full quorum.
Cheers.
Cheers. I promise I won't say come again.
I think that was a record for the word come.
Yeah.
I'm going to come.
My mustache makes me want to.
Hey, do you guys think that they should be able to throw like a red flag out, a challenge on a penalty like that?
I think you should have 8 of them. Because
honestly, I think a red flag is a red flag.
No, Al says that because you're questioning the sanctity of his referees. That's why Al doesn't want any challenges. There should be no challenges because it should all be reviewed and reviewable.
By me.
They should be able to say, like, that Seminole did not intend to hurt the Florida quarterback when he grazed his face mask very lightly with his forearm, and that shouldn't be a penalty.
He should kiss him.
Actually,
kiss him next time. Just take his helmet off and kiss him on the helmet.
Cradle him and slowly lower him.
I might have found a solution you will even love. What if every game they picked one fan at random to sit at home and they were like the live feed? Their decision was final. It's not officials, it's the ref. So, obviously no crisscrossing of interests here. You can only beer debating after beer chugging. So I can't do it on a Miami game and just blatantly be like it goes in Miami's favor.
It should be 100 fans,
but
they should all be vetted ahead of time.
Well, each team gets a dossier on the person who's
absolutely
calling,
interview their friends and family. Right, find out what teams they like. They can't, like full background checks.
Put cameras all over their house, and they can watch it all week long.
Andy's right. We need to interview friends and family.
We call it big.
I would bet
we decide whether or not his elbow hit him on purpose.
I would bet so much on whatever game I was being told to oversee. It would be diabolically bad.
Guys, bet the over.
Yeah.
You get put in a dark room.
You guys.
Only camera feeds.
This is completely irrelevant to everything we're talking about with college, but the Chargers are down a score with 2 minutes left. What are the chances that they stay down a score with 2 minutes left?
What are the chances they don't
100%.
have comments?
0.
No,
I don't know, man.
The chances they mismanage the clock.
Well, I need to know the exact score. A score doesn't.
They're down 3 with 2 minutes to go.
Oh, I'm losing my bets.
And
is what it means.
the Ravens have already the Ravens defense has held them back a lot, but they have all their timeouts, 2 minutes left.
Whoa.
So the most fun way to
the Chargers have timeouts, right?
Chargers tying and Ravens scoring a touchdown in overtime to win. That's how the funniest way this ends.
Chargers score, the Ravens come back.
So we've got a couple of topics we want to get to before we get to the picks to the conference championship. Let's review last week quickly. I was bringing up the rear at 6-7-1, but as I've said in the past, when your worst weeks are 1 to 2 games under 500, you're going to be okay. Then we had, I believe, Danny and sorry, I just lost it. Somebody's moving the spreadsheet. Stop it. Chris was 1 game over. Danny was 2 games over. Matt and Al are our champions for the week. Congratulations, boys. Both of you 6-2, 4 games over 500. You each get a beer to give out, so make sure you do that during the pod.
Go to Al.
Andy, chug a beer.
Fair enough.
Actually, Danny laughed at my Auburn pick last week, and I didn't take kindly to it. Oh, no. Andy, chug a beer. I didn't get to give you one for the New Mexico State bet. That's
fair.
Auburn.
Fair.
Oh, I need to bet only Auburn going forward.
So
come up and Andy
I'm
likes
gonna drink the rest of this
with
because
everybody
I know
and then
Matt
not show
wanted
up.
me to.
I'm going to chug one for Al and one for Matt, but just before that, I want to show you what I'm drinking. I've got very limited selection here. So I've got a Corona and a Mom water.
Is that a Jewel? Oh, I thought that was like a Jewel.
Anybody familiar with Mom water? They all have mom names. There's like a Julie and an Allison, and it's like a hard seltzer, but it's not carbonated.
What flavor?
Maybe I'm old, but those aren't mom enough names.
Is Karen just straight tequila?
I don't know, but it's got a bad haircut.
It's gonna be like, it's gotta be like Leslie.
Right.
Or
So that's
We're
what I'm
not
going to
talking
be
shit about Leslie
chugging
ever.
Mom name.
Of course you don't get the first
Okay.
down. Hell yeah.
Can we celebrate something that happened this weekend, guys? It was Thanksgiving, but this country's been divided for a long time. But there was something we could all be unified by. It's the Iowa under. Betting Iowa unders has been important for our society, for mankind. They had the lowest under
For
of
our
all
wallets.
time. Well, that too. But I'm just saying for America, right? Even if you're a bettor or not a bettor.
Yeah, America doesn't care about their wallets.
Well, no. Fair enough. But the spread was...
I think they care. They just don't pay
attention. The spread opened at 28. It got as low as 24.5, which is hilariously low and very sad. But we hit it, baby. 10, 13, 3 turnovers in the final 2 minutes. Hilarious ending. I'm going to drink to Iowa. You did it.
Oh my God! I totally we talked about this, but I totally forgot about the way the game ended. So here,
it was tremendous. It's what we needed as a people. We can all look. We may have different opinions on politics and how to raise kids, but we can all laugh.
It was 2 coaches. It was 2 coaches completely out of their element. Completely It's like they were split personality. It's like they thought they were coaching different teams. So what? Iowa had the ball, and it's like smart move is. You literally run out the clock or you punt or whatever. And they're like, nah, we're going to chuck it. And they threw an interception and immediately put Nebraska at like 10 yards from field goal range. And you're like, oh, fuck. They just screwed themselves. And then Nebraska does the same thing. They throw an interception. It's stop doing that. And then it set Iowa up perfectly for a game-winning.
When did they start throwing the ball? Either of them. Yeah. It was so puzzling.
What is this? It was beautiful. Amazing. I actually want to go back and rewatch that game.
It's an ESPN instant classic, right? I hope they dusted up on
whatever happened to those?
I don't know.
YouTube happened.
They replaced it all with screaming heads.
YouTube happened to those. Also, Baltimore totally just won this fucking game, and fuck yeah.
So Andy, I'll let you go back to driving, but I was so passionate.
They covered the live 1.5 that I bet.
Oh, yeah, push all.
No, that was excellent. I appreciate that. You're bringing us all together, Matt. I also want to talk about how the Hawaii game ended. I know Al sent us all a link to this video. So Al, do you want to kind of walk through how the game ended?
Yeah. So I don't know the exact situation, but Hawaii is driving with under a minute left. I think they were
down by 2, I think.
No, it went to overtime. They were down by 3, so the field goal was forced overtime, and they end up completing a ball at the opposite 40-yard line, 40 yards out from the goal line. They didn't have any timeouts, and the guy was tackled inbounds, and I don't think they realized he was tackled inbounds immediately. So they had to sprint out their field goal unit while the clock is ticking down from 8 seconds. And like the kicker maybe barely got set because you're supposed to be still and set for a full second before the ball snapped. That man does not stop until there's 1 second left on the clock. Like dead sprint to midfield, stops, like ball is snapped like literally at 0, and he fucking drills like a 56-yarder to force overtime. It was fantastic.
It was amazing. If you haven't seen
if you were to
definitely go
call
watch the video.
a penalty on not being set on the fucking kicker on a 1 second at the end of the game, fuck you, Al, and the
Right.
rest of your clan.
Hey, listen, Andy's the one who wants to officiate by the letter of the law here.
I don't think that's even close to what I said, but
Right.
I actually blame the refs for this one too, because he went down
First
very
down,
close
that's more
to the
than a
sideline.
first down. Woohoo!
The refs.
That's all you needed, Al. That's all you needed, Al.
Yeah. What even happened?
It's called a touchdown.
Why didn't they take a knee? I thought they were kneeling the
No,
clock.
the Chargers had
Can you mute
timeouts
them?
to go.
I can mute them, yeah.
I'll do it with the muting.
love to discuss live NFL games where we don't know what's going on our college football podcast.
Sorry.
No, I was saying it was definitely the refs' fault because
it would be bad to talk about gambling on a gambling podcast where we win.
We're
Right,
telling
by the time everybody
Not that
listens
kind of
to this, they're
gambling.
going to know how the Ravens game ended. So
Yeah, but it'll be fun. Anyway, go on.
say so. Never mind. It doesn't matter. It was the refs' fault. That's my point. The refs screwed
Al,
away
it
on
was
that
your
one.
fault. Now you respond.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer.
All right. We also all know that this is the time of the year when a lot of coaches are getting the axe, which is not something that we want to celebrate necessarily, but it is something we want to commemorate. So we have a tradition of doing a compliment sandwich. There are so many of them this time that we're going to set up a little deli counter here and just kind of go rapid fire. I'm going to throw out a name and the place they were fired from. And if you have a compliment or a sandwich to give to them, feel free to do that. So first we've got Tom Allen at Indiana, and I'll kick it off with the compliment. You were great when Michael Penix was your quarterback.
You were.
You were dumb to let Michael Penix go to Washington.
Yeah.
And you were they're looking at John Gruden to replace you.
That's hilarious. I saw that come across the timeline. What a world we live in where John Gruden is considering the Indiana job. I don't know.
Honestly, I don't know why they don't think about bringing Bill Cowher back. That's like the guy, everyone pulls like the guy who's Jimmy Johnson. Let's get him back on the sideline.
Well, Bill Cowher, if he wanted to coach, would be considered for like the Patriots job, right?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone with a brain would.
Literally anyone with a brain would hire Bill
25
Cowher.
years removed.
Anyone
Jimmy
with a
Johnson
brain
was
would
at the
hire Bill
Cowboys
Cowher.
game this week, and he looked old, man. I don't know if anybody else saw that.
He's like 85.
Like, I've always considered Jimmy to be a handsome
80-something.
man, and he's losing it, guys.
No, he'll never lose
R.I.P.
it.
Jimmy
He'll never
Buffett.
lose it.
And then closing out the Tom Allen sandwich, congratulations, you don't have to live in Indiana anymore.
And you get a buyout. You get a big ass buyout. It's
There you go.
Oh, that's always
You get to
nice.
be rich and not
Poor
in
guy.
Indiana.
Hey, listen.
anymore.
Let's not make light of a guy losing his job, okay? Yeah, he's got millions of dollars to dry his tears. I hate
All
that.
right, next we've got Dana Holgerson from Houston has been let go. Anybody want to kick that one off?
Great visor, terrible hair. Someone put it.
All right, that's a good. You did a good and bad there, but
he was innovative on offense. He was one of the biggest game changers of spread offense in 2010 to 2015. Just shit, you got to keep innovating, right?
It's just not those years anymore.
Yeah, Dana Holgerson made West Virginia good but in 2010 to 2015, right?
Yeah, he was good at Houston too.
Yeah.
And he switched from visor to hat.
When he had players at Houston, what was the defensive guy that almost won the Heisman at Houston?
Ed Oliver.
That dude, like when he was there, like we thought Houston was going to be the best. They went 12-2 that season, and everybody was like, Houston is going to be the thing. And then now they're in the Big 12 and they're a joke.
Is this something? Dana Holgerson is the coaching equivalent of the guy who like stays in college too long.
He's Van Wilder.
You know? Yeah, but like sadder.
Van Wilder?
I haven't watched Van Wilder.
He's Al Stahl or Dan Bierman.
It might be
Yeah.
sad.
Yes, exactly. I almost said that, but I didn't want to
He's
throw you in
on his
there.
9th year,
Yeah.
and he only has 1 major, but 5 minors. He keeps picking up minors.
He's still partying, like he hasn't sank in. He's got to move on
It's
yet.
like, oh no, we're gonna go to the same party again, and it's no way is that depressing.
All right. Well, happy trails, Dana Holgerson. Next, we've got Danny Gonzalez at New Mexico. I'm going to say congratulations for being at one of the New Mexico schools, which were both terrible last year. And then one of them was good this year, but nobody knows which one's which. So
it could have been him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's terrible that they fired him so unfairly.
You get to put I coached in New Mexico on my resume in 23.
That's pity. That's also pity because you're like, oh man, you had a coach in New Mexico. That's tough. But you were good one of those years, right? And you can say sure.
Coach in New Mexico.
You don't have Wikipedia,
home
right?
of the bowl champion Lobos or whatever it is.
I think the downside of this is the shit part of the sandwich that he has to coach against Jerry Kill, who's at the other New Mexico, which I'm not sure, but he's really like doing good, and he's going to end up getting a really good job this week, I think.
So New Mexico State guy seems like he's a good coach. New Mexico guy seems like he should be coaching high school.
So I know this is a college football podcast. Can we raise our hand if you could have told me that New Mexico's head coach was Danny Gonzalez before we started the segment? Because I couldn't have told you that.
I don't think anyone wants to admit to that, but I think at least a couple of us probably.
If you knew that and you don't have a mustache, raise your hand.
I had no idea.
Literally, we all technically have mustaches.
True.
Yeah, I'll raise my hand, but only because I have a mustache, and I also didn't know that. But
there's a lot of podcasts out there with white guys and beards making jokes, but not all of them have guys that are this handsome or this. I mean, this was supposed to be this general motion, not just me.
I love how Alex excluded me from his motion.
Or guys will admit when they don't know things, right? I see a lot of TikToks about women complaining about their husbands, like not admitting when they're wrong or where they don't know things. We all just admitted we didn't know who Danny Gonzalez was.
That's true.
Yeah, progress. I wish my wife wishes I would.
Andy with the algorithm confessions. My TikTok feed looks a lot different. For some reason, all these like chicks shaking their ass and like.
I had a buddy who
downloaded
TikTok for the first time not too long ago, and after 2 weeks, he's like, "Andy, is it all just chicks shaking their ass?" And I was like,
"It is. If that's what you want it to be."
You make your experience
on my TikTok is nothing but that the Zulu girls with their tits out. Have you guys seen that?
I don't, but
I wish I had.
I get like lawn mowing videos.
It's just an African thing that they can't.
The time lapse ones where they clean the whole yard.
It's a cultural thing, so.
Those are already sped up, and I turn them on to like 2 times speed, and I'm like,
the 2 times speed.
Oh, the lawn mowing videos; those are my fucking favorite.
Yeah. That's because we're all suburban dads.
Where he like finds a sidewalk, and the neighbor and like the owner comes on, like, I never knew there was a sidewalk here.
SVB mowing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Spencer.
Shout out if you want to sponsor us. Leave us a review.
The lawn
we'll pay you tomorrow.
Next up, we've got Terry Bowden, who was the head coach at University of Louisiana Monroe until very, very recently. And so for the first part of your sandwich, your dad was awesome.
Cool last name.
He's going to be the most disappointing Bowden, right?
For the second part of your sandwich, you were coaching in Louisiana? Huh? For the also second part of your sandwich, you look a lot like John DelGuardia.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
I
think that I want to say that if he calls it quits now, at least he goes out on top. You know, he's got a winning record for all of his careers, and I mean.
Wait, so Terry gets to roll in his record into Bobby's? Like, they just have like a Bowden family winning.
I gotta tell you, Bobby is not gonna want his sons to just be allowed to roll the record into his.
No. I mean,
he's rolling in his
like he was the coach at Auburn for a while, and he's going out with a winning record. He's like 185 and 1.
No, Terry wasn't at Auburn. Terry was at like Clemson or some shit.
No, Terry was at Clemson also, but yes, he was at Auburn and Akron.
Yeah, which ones are the good ones? Tommy
and Terry? Jeff was terrible.
There's way too many
Bobby.
Dan Bowdens.
Bobby was the good one.
Fuck.
I can assure you, Terry was not the good one, and Terry looks a whole lot like John Delgardio.
Dude, these guys are all just who's the guy who's in the Senate now?
He's
was
a
terrible
man.
coach.
Oh, that giant piece of shit at Auburn.
Yes.
Tommy
Yes.
Yeah, Tommy Tuberville. Like literally all the Bowdens are just Tommy Tubervilles.
No.
All the sons at least, not Bobby.
The Bowdens are Nepo
like
babies. The Tubervilles are just pieces of shit trying to like change.
No, like literally Google Tommy Bowden and you're like, I think that's Tommy Tuberville.
I think
actually that would be
I don't
a fun
get into
conspiracy
politics,
theory. Maybe they're actually related.
All right.
Oh, we're
Let's
not.
finish this off with Dana Dimmel at UTEP. I didn't know Dana Dimmel goes to UTEP, so at least we didn't all talk about how bad your failing all year was, like we did with Dana and Tom.
That's true.
Anybody have anything to add?
Dana's a pretty cool name, right? Like for a guy.
I have a mustache right now.
It's a name for a guy with a mustache for sure. Like if you see Dana down the street, Dana just feels cool.
Dana watches NASCAR.
Dana has big tits.
Oh, Dana.
I knew a Dana with big tits. Actually, you might have known her too. I might have known her too, actually.
I want to get into picks before too long, so we've got two more things we want to talk about real quick. There are some new coaches out there. Matt, you want to take this one?
Yeah. So Texas A&M, after a long, extensive search, realized that a lot of the coaches they were going after are not going to go to Texas A&M because of the clown show that can be that university and all the pressure that comes with it. So they went to Mike Elko, who from 2018 to 2021 was the defensive coordinator at Texas A&M. And hey, here's an interesting thing. When he was defensive coordinator, A&M's record was good. So Mike Elko goes to Duke. Duke looks like the most competitive version of Duke I've seen in forever. They had like 12 winless in conference seasons from like 1980 to 2020. And he gets there and they look a lot better. This may be on the budget, like a budget move from Texas A&M, considering they got to pay Jimbo Fisher $75 million. But I kind of like the move. I think he's a good program leader. I'll be curious to see the recruiting. It is high risk. This is a high floor, low. It could be a little bit of a low ceiling move, but they just need some stability. And I do think this probably puts them in the right place. I like Mike Elko. I like that Duke team. They'll probably get Riley Leonard to come over with him. I would guess that NIL money is going to be right. And you bring him over, you got a pretty good quarterback to start off with.
Ooh, do you think Duke fell off second half of the season because Elko was a hot commodity and was maybe not fully checked in?
I do think there's probably some truth to that. I also think you were on your fourth quarterback.
Yeah, and Riley Leonard got hurt. That's what happened.
But then he was back and they still sucked. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the game against Florida State, he was hobbling all over the field and then had a season ender because he played in that game. So I don't know if anyone has any thoughts, but I kind of like the move. It's a weird one. I think Texas A&M got a big dose of reality, and they were trying to chase Ryan Day. I don't know if you heard all these rumors, Ryan Day. And then as of yesterday,
dude, they really wanted somebody who could lose to Michigan.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think it's a great hire on both sides. I'm happy for Mike Elko taking a big leap, and Texas A&M got a really good coach. There definitely were bigger names out there they could have gotten. But I think this is almost better for them because it's kind of tempers the expectations a little bit. I mean, they're still going to have high expectations, but not the same as if you got
move for A&M because they hired the guy who had the quarterback and built the defense, right? He built the defense at Duke that allowed their quarterback to be like a guy that everybody thought. What was his name before he broke his leg?
Riley Leonard.
There we go.
It's still his name after he broke his leg, too.
He actually changed it to a symbol.
The quarterback formerly known as Riley Leonard.
The Red Cross.
So No, it's a good hire. It's actually the perfect A&M thing to do is to hire the wrong coach, which this is the wrong coach all the way. He's going to go to A&M. He's going to have resources and he's going to fail. Then he will go to a school that has after A&M, right? He's going to fail at A&M. Then he'll go somewhere else and then he will succeed. Because everybody fails at A&M because A&M fucking sucks.
He's like the sacrificial lamb of like the college football equivalent of it. Like it's not going to work out there, but like I wish him the best.
I think it is. I think it's going to work. I think this is such a not Texas A&M move that it's going to work well. I think Jimbo going after the big fish who was already checking out at Florida State and paying him a boatload of money and changing course and saying, hey, maybe we need a program builder instead of just like a name coach who can recruit, I think is probably a wise move.
It might have worked if they went after like I can't even think of a name right now, but
they wanted Stoops in Kentucky and they thought from last night they thought Stoops was doing it, and then he released a random text that a tweet that says, after a lot of conversation, I'm staying at Kentucky. And Stoops,
I think Elko is probably an improvement over Stoops.
I think you kind of know what you get with Stoops. Elko is more of a question mark. It's more volatile.
Is Stoops related to Bob?
Yeah.
Brother.
Yes.
Brother or son?
I don't remember.
Brother.
Head coach.
No, they're white.
All right. Did you guys see the Mississippi State coach? I don't know if this one means anything to you.
No, it doesn't.
Jeff Lebby.
Nothing in Mississippi means anything to me, Matt.
Jeff Lebby is the head coach now for Mississippi State, offensive coordinator at Oklahoma, really, and offensive coordinator of UCF when UCF was an absolute wagon. Is that better?
To be fair, if you are going to steal the offensive coordinator from Oklahoma right now, like Oklahoma turned everything around like halfway through last season. All their coaches deserve tons of credit.
The only question mark here is he's got a very close relationship with Art Briles. Like a weird.
So he's going to hell?
Did he suck his dick?
No. Well, Art Briles is quite the checkered past. He is unhireable in college football. Jeff Lebby keeps getting jobs, so I'm sure from a compliance perspective, he does check out. That would be the only downside. Outside of having to be probably in the second worst job.
Briles had that thing at Baylor where they did a bunch of rapes and he was cool with it.
No, that was Penn State.
That's different thing.
Yeah, different Art Briles. That's still him.
Oh, no. You're thinking of. I wish I had like 5 other.
I'm glad you don't.
Let's
you don't.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway. Actually, Andy, you're right. I'm so happy it was just 2 times that shit happened.
Speaking of bad teams,
anyone have thoughts
Did
on
anybody
this?
look at my Johnny Delgardio picture because
he actually does.
I don't think so, and I hope John Delgardio doesn't listen to this because that dude looks much more trolly than John Delgardio. It seems really offensive.
Yeah, all right.
I can see a resemblance. John's definitely more handsome, but
hey guys,
I love John so much.
Season's over. Let's talk about the bad team draft. You guys want to recap and finalize the bad team draft?
Yes.
What?
Sure don't.
For bad teams.
I pulled it out.
Let's talk about the person that won the most, who's actually the loser. Al, congratulations. Somehow you won 51% of your games. It's like you didn't know the rules and you did the opposite. You're trying to get bad teams that would win.
You won more than half of your games when you were trying to lose?
I picked a team that went 7-2 in conference.
Sure did.
Like are they ranked?
Yeah, Arizona's good.
Yes.
I picked a team that was supposed to be bottom of like all teams in their.
Did you mean to say state when you picked them?
Nope.
No, Sunshine got that one. So Al did have West Virginia, Arizona.
I think I picked Arizona before Arizona State, by the way.
Yeah.
No one knew that Arizona was going to come out and be a wagon. And Missouri. So Al, you have anything to say about your performance? Congratulations for winning.
Even when I try to do poorly, I still finish above 500. That's what she said.
Congratulations.
She
buddy.
didn't.
More than half the time I finish.
And second to last place, we've got Andy. Andy did go 23 and 28, so he did have a losing record, only winning 45% of his games. Andy did hitch his wagon to Northwestern, which was not great. But at the time, everyone was doing it, right? Like we all were just bagging on Northwestern. They had a great year. They're bowl eligible. Really good job with Kent State, though. 0-8 in conference. Kudos. Andy, do you have anything to say for yourself? Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm proud of the Kent State one. I'm also proud of the Florida one. I think I got shit on a little bit for that when it happened. 3 conference wins. I feel really good about that. Also, Florida not bowling. Some of you know my father-in-law is a Florida fan, and he is really a dick about how much better Florida is than Illinois, and so I definitely root against them, and it makes me happy when they're not bowling.
I did want to step in and just say one thing because I look. This is a fun little stat from our experiment here. There are 5 of us doing this. We all picked 6 teams. That's 30 teams in total. 9 of the 30 teams we picked finished with more than 4 or more conference wins. Andy and I had 7 of those 9.
Congratulations, boys. Hey, can I hit you with a dad joke? If Florida wants to go bowling, they better book a lane. All right. Let's move on.
Nice.
Middle of the pack, Sunshine came in at 27% winning percentage, 14 and 37. Sounds really terrible.
Sunshine,
congratulations. That's awful.
That is absolutely.
Congratulations, you suck.
Sunshine did pick Vanderbilt, another winless team. Congratulations there. Akron was 1-7. Really, the trouble spot was Kansas. You could have picked a bunch of other ones, but they only went 5-4. So, Sunshine, got anything to explain to us?
Well, Kansas always fucks my bracket in basketball, and now they fuck my bad team draft.
If I had to ask people in March Madness what team fucked your bracket, I feel like the number one answer is Kansas. It's always Kansas.
Purdue.
Georgetown. When Georgetown was good, I was always backing them, and they would always lose too.
Oh, yeah.
The runner-up in the bad team draft, Danny, 13 wins, 38 losses, a winning percentage of 25.49%. Danny did take Virginia Tech with a winning record, but outside of that, the rest of his team stunk. With Indiana only 1 win, Colorado only 1 win, FIU only 1 win. Congratulations, Danny. Here's your moment. You want to share anything with the group here?
I'm sorry I had to pick an ACC team.
I think at least I gave you so much shit on picking Colorado that first 2 weeks, before the conference play started. They were looking like ranked
at TCU that first week,
3-0 or something. Yeah. Oh my god, I thought you were going to tank. But no,
you guys gave me so much shit about that Auburn pick, and I believed you. And you guys were all wrong.
Did you guys know Auburn almost beat Alabama?
No, we didn't know that.
Oh, so close.
It took a 4th and goal from the 31-yard line with 30 seconds left to beat them.
All right, and then finally, kudos to me. I'm the fucking best at being the worst. 19% winning percentage, 20%. I'm sorry, 10 and 41. I didn't have a team. Rutgers had 3 wins. Everyone else I chose had 2 or less wins. With ULM, RIP, Terry Bowden, leading the way there, being completely winless. It was a great experiment. I think we should do this again. I loved it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much. Everyone listening, I hope you enjoyed rooting for bad teams to lose as much as I did.
Also, not to put...
If you're going to do this again in 12 months, just make a note. Don't draft your at-large team first.
Do not.
Go with a conference play first.
Also, I know this wasn't part of it, but Matt, so many of your teams fired their coach.
Oh,
Houston, Mississippi State, ULM.
That should come.
You should get bonus points if your team
that
fires.
That is actually fantastic.
The coach firing mode here.
Yeah. Whereas, I did the opposite. The Northwestern coach was interim, and they took the interim off of his name because he did so damn good.
Crush.
I was literally just going with the unders for the season, and I didn't even know we were going conference only.
Hey, it worked out better for you. Colorado looks a lot better in conference. Well, a lot worse in conference than they did regular. 4 wins, 1 in the Pac-12.
Yeah, that one TCU win made me feel so bad.
It was
season.
But we will be back next year and do it again.
Absolutely. That was a lot of fun, Matt. Thank you for putting together that and doing all the hard work, keeping track of all those stats. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
You guys think you could bang these picks out in 10 minutes? Because
trophies in the mail.
I know I can.
I don't know if I can last 10 minutes, but we'll give it a shot.
Yeah,
so all of the conference championship games are happening.
Andy, we're recording.
Are happening Friday and Saturday of this week. So starting off on Friday, 7 p.m., New Mexico State, which is the Jerry Kill New Mexico, not the former Danny Gonzalez Mexico, is going to play Liberty. Al, you've got a pick on that. Why don't you tell us what you got?
Yeah, New Mexico State plus 10.5. Yeah, Jerry Kill is fun, and they're the good New Mexico team, and 10.5 isn't a lot of points, so why not?
Matt, I think you're going to fight him.
I'm going with Chadwell at Liberty. Liberty is like financially set up to be an incredible contender, and they're going to end up running this conference for like the next 10 years because they have so much more NIL than everyone combined. So they're going to end up killing it. They're already really good. This line should probably be 2 touchdowns or more. So
no, Matt's right. I don't know if you guys know this about Christians, but they love giving money to shit they don't get anything from.
Mega donors. It's also, I imagine it's pretty easy to funnel that money to
Danny. I don't know if you know this, but they are storing up treasures in heaven.
10%, baby.
I say that as a tithing Catholic, so I feel like it's kind of a joke.
Jerry Kill almost died.
I feel like I'm the only one of us 5 who's a tither. So
technically my household is okay. So listen,
technically my household.
Don't go.
I was for a long time.
Yeah.
I never mind. Let's not get into this.
We don't need to get into religion here, but I'm with Matt on the Liberty because I know those people got some fucking money.
Doesn't necessarily help in this game, but I do think they are really good. They're storing up talent. By the way, Jerry Kill has been wearing this. Did we talk about this before? The Support the Troops version. Did I talk to you about this on the podcast? For the last 6 weeks, he's been wearing the same like fatigue color like New Mexico State because he just likes to support the troops that much. And they've been winning since he's been supporting the troops every week, even though he can go back to like the normal color. I love Jerry Kill. The tattoo that he got when they got bowl eligible for the first time, friggin' hero, that guy. He's like the greatest uncle you can have. He's like the drunkest uncle.
I agree. He's a great uncle. I'm always texting you guys. Speaking of tithing, I'm always texting you guys from Mass at 7:45 a.m. because that shit's boring as fuck.
Next game.
Next 8 p.m. Oregon, Washington in what could be the last Pac-12 conference championship. At least definitely will be of the Pac-12 as we know it. Oregon, Washington. Sunshine, we're on the same side of the spread here. We're both taking Washington 9.5. So why don't you give us some thoughts on that and then tell us what you've got on the total too.
So I think it's going to be a close game, but Oregon has just looked incredible in the later half of the season. Bo Nix is really on it. I mean, I think they are. They're the favorite for a reason. And then I'm also taking the over. The last one went to 69 points. I got the over at 67.5. I think this is a high scoring game.
So I'm also taking Washington plus the 9.5. I have this closer to a field goal, and I'm getting almost 10 points, almost double digits. Yes. I do wish it was at 10, but I don't think it's going to get there. So I'm taking the 9.5. But I'm going against you on the total. I'm going under. I think these teams might try and slow it down just a little bit, and not give the other team a chance to run the score up. So. I'm going under. I got it at 68. So technically, could they land on 68 and I push and you win? But otherwise, yeah.
So Chris is on Oregon minus 9.5 and over 67.
No. I think Oregon's going to win. I'm on Washington 9.5. I think it's going to be a close game.
One score game.
Okay, gotcha.
I missed that. Sorry.
We've got nothing a Saturday at noon on Miami of Ohio going into Toledo because fuck the group of 5.
Whoa, Andy's words, not ours.
I think it's going to be a great game.
Whoa.
Game of the day.
Well, then bet it.
No, there's a game of the day that's happening at noon, but if you had to bet this, bet Toledo.
Danny, you want to tell us about the game of the day, Oklahoma State at Texas?
Oklahoma State and Texas. There's one of these schools that's in a tiny state and one that's in a giant state. So bet the one that's in the bigger state.
Geography. That's what you come here for.
I do like Texas to win, but 14's a big number. I don't
Yeah,
know.
dude,
Quinn Ewers is going to cover this shit. Did you watch last week?
No.
Did you even see the game last week?
I saw them.
Pretty sure if you took land area
it was like
alone,
55 to 8, and he only had to throw for 200 yards. Oh God, Texas is going to murder Oklahoma State. Is
there a better team that you care less about than Texas? Because
not me. My family loves Texas.
Yeah, I get it for you, but I no interest.
I'm kind of with you just because I've been there, done that.
Dude, my dad is not paying for your golf next time we go.
Oh, I love Texas. I got a
Well, how's he gonna find out unless you snitch on us?
He listens.
Oh, damn it! Go Texas, Longhorns.
All right, 3:00.
Longhorns Takehouse.
Boise State, UNLV. No picks, but
he doesn't listen.
I was
hates me.
tempted to take UNLV here, but I don't know. I can't pin down Boise State, so I'm just leaving it off.
Also, it's crazy.
Go ahead.
It's crazy that they're in the conference championship game and they fired their coach 2 weeks ago. Like, what are their expectations? That's
Dude, I want to lay the points with Boise so bad. It's not a pick, but
what is the number right now?
2.5. I think it's 2.5.
I'm laying.
Boise's favorite.
It's not an official ChuggieBets pick, but like this is a Danny is going to bet this during the day pick, and
all right, let's get to the only game that matters.
Dude, really quick.
Oh, yeah.
Really quick, can I talk about the Mountain West for 1 second? Did you guys see how they determined who the champions were, who was going to play in this game? There were 3 teams that were tied with the same record: Boise State, UNLV, and San Jose State. The tiebreaker is a computer makes the decision who the 2 best teams are. That's it. Not like head to head. So a computer just like spit out like, all right, Boise and UNLV. San Jose State lost via computer. I just thought it was funny. Not like head to head or a 3-way tiebreaker like these normal things do. A computer made this decision.
Yeah, that's like BCS days.
It's BS. BS days. I just thought it was funny. It was like, of all these things, we got tiebreakers now. Computer.
That is funny. I'm going to go back and look at my numbers and see who I would have put in out of those 3 teams.
I would love to find out. I would love to find out your numbers.
I don't want to do it right now because I don't want to
No, not now. It's not Georgia Bama.
Maybe I'll TikTok it. But yeah, first, 4:00, the game everybody will be watching. SEC Juggernauts, Georgia at Alabama. We all have picks on this game, but they're all over the place. I'm going to go first and just say you never get to take Bama with points. It just never happens.
You do, though.
And so I'm doing it. No, it never happens.
Pretty much every time they play Georgia in the last 2.5 years.
No, even in those, Alabama's been favored in a lot of them. Yeah. Maybe not last year, but before that, absolutely.
Right.
So anytime you can take Bama with points, do it.
Hey,
Bama plus 5.
Have you thought about why you're getting Bama?
Big fan of your pick, Andy.
Have you thought about why you're getting points with Bama?
Because they're not as good as this year as they were.
Yeah, there you go. They're not as good as Georgia. Georgia's really steamrolling people. This game may be close in the first half. I said this last week. Georgia just likes to play with their food just a little bit. Like they'll maybe down at the quarter or the half, and I have no fear that Georgia's going to steamroll.
You guys are both like looking at this as which team's better, and you're both looking at this the wrong way.
Okay.
The right way to look at this is both of these defenses are fantastic, and both offenses are struggling this season, right?
Where?
No.
Carson Beck's slinging it, man.
Awesome. Georgia's offense.
Alabama's offense is also good. I mean,
yeah,
these are SEC powerhouses, Danny. Shit, man.
You guys,
Bama's defense isn't good. I mean, not for Bama at least.
Under 56.5 is going to hit, and you guys are all look. This happened last week, and I was right, and you guys were wrong. Like I was right about Michigan, and you guys were all wrong. So I'm going to be right again.
Yeah, but were you right about Alabama?
Fuck
Pretty
you.
sure you were wrong twice.
God damn it.
I think I've got this one pinned. And I think
you know what? I think take my pick. No, leave it on the board. But
I think Danny's half right. Like most of the time, he's half right. I'm taking.
I only have one pick.
I'm doing Bama +3 first half because I think Georgia typically starts slow. This one's going to be built up as like a, real clash of the Titans, right? So I think this is going to be within a field goal or so, or Bama might even be leading at halftime. And then Georgia's going to do what Georgia does, and they're going to run up like 24-6 in the second half and run away with this thing.
That's my logic on that too, El. I like both of those plays. I could see Georgia plays with their food a little bit, and then they come out that third quarter, they smoke you. They adjust better than anybody. Sunshine, we didn't get your opinion as the Georgia native.
So Andy, you're taking Bama +5.
Yeah.
Not so fast.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Yeah, the pencil.
Yeah. So Georgia's got 2 back-to-back national titles, right?
Yes.
This team's better than both of those teams.
Wow.
They are. Carson Beck is a better quarterback than Stetson Bennett.
I agree.
That's for sure.
I think that Georgia will. I think they will beat them by a touchdown.
I think, like, prospects wise, Carson Beck is probably a better quarterback, more palatable to the NFL for sure. But like Stetson Bennett was legitimately very good.
Yeah, but
I love Stetson Bennett. I'm not. That's no hate to Stetson Bennett.
Stetson Bennett could rely on his defense a lot more last year.
Go ahead, man.
Stetson Bennett could rely on his defense a lot more last year. Carson Beck's making pro-level throws in like tough scenarios over and over again. He's been really good. Like as far as like he could be a Heisman contender next year. Like Stetson Bennett never had an option like outside of being the quarterback on the best team, right? But he wasn't superior by any means. Carson Beck is going to be leading as a Heisman voter preseason.
But how good is he at frat house parties?
Probably sucks. Yeah. Probably sucks compared to Stetson Bennett. I'm not saying who's the better like collegiate. It's Stetson Bennett. Collegiate athlete, it's Carson Beck.
Also, Georgia has most of the season has had one of their like major players have been out at every game, and now like all of them are back in. Right? They got their tight end. The guy's fucking like he's a monster at tight end.
Brock Bowers.
Yeah, he's a monster.
He's scary.
Lad McConkey.
Lad McConkey.
All right. Anybody have any other thoughts on that one, or should we move on?
It's going to be a great game.
I'm ready. For sure. Your TV should be on that game 100%. But there are 2 other games happening at the same time. SMU Tulane is happening at the same time, 4 o'clock. Sunshine, you've got to play on the total there?
Yeah. I was just reviewing all of their scores, both teams, SMU and Tulane, all of their scores through that season, and they've all been high. I'm going to over 50.5.
I like
nice. I like that a lot. And then, Matt, you and I are on the same play here, so I'll let you go for that one.
SMU's offense has been tremendous. Now, don't get me wrong, Willie Fritz and Tulane are scary. Willie Fritz is like the most uncomfortable coach, and I do not think he's going to stay at Tulane very long. He's going to he'd be a nice player at Duke. Just spreading the word there. He'd be a nice coach there. Michael Pratt's back. That's all good. SMU is like really kicking on another level with Rhett Lashley. That offense has been superior. I think SMU wins the game outright, but I will take +4.5.
Yeah, I was just pulling up to see because I think I'm on the same. I mean, I know I'm on the same play with you, but yeah, I actually have SMU should be favored as well. So
yeah.
I was really tempted to take Tulane here, and I saw you guys were on SMU, and I was like, oh, I figured they're thinking it's like a coin flip game, so you take the side with the points. Yeah, so I didn't want to pull the trigger, especially after Danny brought up the point that he and I have the capability of finishing the season above 500 with a good week here. So I got to pick and choose wisely. So it's a no for me, dog.
I think I'm 7 games above 500, and I'm picking 8 games, which is so dumb, right?
Dangerous game.
Why would I do that? But
that's need one. Just need one to hit.
I'm a gambler. Who would have thunk it? 4 o'clock. Also, we've got App State at Troy, and surprisingly, we have 4 picks on this game. Al, why don't you go first and tell us why you're wrong, and then Sonny and I'll disagree with you.
So Andy, it's actually funny you just mentioned that the possibility of you going 0-8, because you and I are on opposite sides on almost every pick here. So I hope you do. I hope you lose every bet, you motherfucker.
Ouch.
Yeah, we're on opposite sides of Georgia, Bama, this one, and then each of the next 2. So I am laying 6.5 with Troy. I saw it's still under 7 in a couple books. So I just think, I know App State's kind of playing right, but I think Troy's a lot better. It's a really good team, always season in and out, and I think App State's kind of fallen off the last year, this season especially, but even last year they were falling off a bit. So it's mostly a talent play here.
All right. Well, Sunshine, I know you're on App State +7 with me, so why don't you tell Al why he's wrong?
The App State's they've picked up steam since they're on a win streak, man, and they beat James Madison, who I can't believe didn't make this conference game. It was their only loss. I think that, kind of like what you said earlier, coin flip game, so you pick who has the points.
Yeah.
And then Matt, you have a play here too, right?
Yeah, I'm just taking the over here. It looks about 6 points too low. Look, this is going to actually, all 3 of these games are going to be great. So either get a 2 TV setup or a 3 TV setup, or do the quad box, however you want to play this situation.
Quad box.
Not
but
sponsored.
Sponsor us, YouTube, and we'll talk glowingly about your quad box. But yeah, let's talk about your box all day.
The over is a great play, by the way. You guys with trying to figure out who's going to win or wrong. The over is a great play.
All right.
Okay.
All right, and then prime time, 8 p.m., Louisville, Florida State for the ACC title. I'm laying the 3 with Florida State. They're just a better all-around team, even without Jordan Travis. Al, why don't you give us your pick, and then we'll turn it over to
So I'm gonna respond with a question though. Gun to your head, you've got one of these games to watch. I think Sunshine and Matt, we know which one you're going to be watching, the FSU game. But Danny and Andy and myself, which one are you going to be watching? Louisville, Florida State, or Michigan, Iowa?
I don't have to make that choice because
in my scenario, you have to make it, or I'll blow your brains out.
I have YouTube TV, and Google will blow your brains out while you try to shoot me. So I will watch both.
Definitely have enough technology to watch both of these at the same time, but to play along with your game, Michigan, Iowa. I would watch Michigan, Iowa.
No, I'd rather watch FSU. No, to play with your game, I'd rather watch Michigan, FSU, Louisville.
I'd rather watch Michigan, Florida State. That's what I'd rather watch.
That I would love.
Seriously, I'd rather watch Michigan, Florida State. Actually, I'd rather watch Iowa, Florida State more than any of these.
Styles make fights. So Al, to your point on that question, one is a 3-point spread. One is a 22-point spread. Now, if you opt for the 22-point spread, I understand if you're a Big Ten person, you like Michigan, you like Iowa, but come on now. Where's the spread? Where is the more exciting game going to be?
Well, where's Gus Johnson going to be? I don't know if he's calling either of these games, but that'd be fun.
I'm sure he's calling that 8 o'clock game.
Big noon Saturday. Okay.
I know what Al's doing there. Gus Johnson, underdogs. We're taking the
So here's the thought. Louisville plus 3.5. I don't have a great reason for why I'm taking them here. I think it's because offensively, I think they'll be able to hang, and they're going to be able to hang points. And I think Florida State had some hiccups against UF, who you can say UF played up to FSU's level in a rivalry game, or you could also view that as FSU struggling to put away a below average Florida team. So,
well, Al, what do you think? Do you think Auburn played up to Alabama, or Alabama played down to Auburn? I think Auburn fucking played, man.
Yeah, well, that's probably why you're on
So
FSU and
I
I'm
think
on Louisville.
Florida did the same thing.
Yeah. So I'm taking Louisville in the 3.5. I could see this thing being FSU winning it on a last second kick or last second score.
Matt, what's your guy's name that's like the best? He's probably a top 5 pick, top 10 pick receiver.
Keon Coleman.
The receiver, Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Wilson is the other one.
No, well, Wilson's the guy who can't fucking catch, but
he's pretty good last game. He was pretty huge.
He's Tate's favorite target.
Come on. I mean, Wilson, I'm not, like, if we're going to have me arguing for Wilson, I'm going to switch to being on Al's team for Louisville.
Argue for Keon Coleman then.
That's fine.
So Coleman is nobody on Louisville's team can play with Coleman.
Nope.
Period.
Nope.
And that's why this game will not be within 3 points.
Okay. He disappears in some games, though. I mean, I don't know.
He does.
Because he gets bracketed.
One you don't want to have.
Because every once in a while, there's a guy who could play with him.
No.
But there's nobody in this game that can.
Well, that's the beauty of the FSU offense as it's constructed currently. He got bracketed really hard last game. You know who didn't? The 6'7" monster who had 7 catches. Johnny Wilson was there, and Keon Coleman had
on 35 targets, I think.
No, I think like 9. I think he did very well. And then you have the big tight ends, right? So
Wilson is great catching targets when nobody's guarding him.
No, he's better if someone's guarding him. If he's left alone, he drops them.
Yeah.
That's not a joke. He'll drop a ball that he's by himself.
Yes.
But if he has to reach over someone,
well, in that case, Louisville +3.
Coleman dropped a real bad one last night.
Oh God, so bad,
it
bad.
It was real bad. Yeah.
He also made some crazy catches and got some crazy pass interference calls because they were like, "Oh, he was going to make that catch."
Andy, you speak your point, and then I'll take this home. Sunshine, I can take it home.
Yeah, just FSU's better team. I wish Jordan Travis was still there, but we'd be getting a much bigger number if he was. Even without Jordan Travis, Tate looked fine against Florida. 3 is too small of a number.
You're missing a small point here, Andy. Tate's tough as fuck. There was a point where we thought he was coming out of the game because he
got hit fucking hard. Yeah.
And he just came right back in.
Oh yeah, that was the dirtiest hit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was a double target. It was literally a double target.
They should have ejected 2 guys on that hit. That was fucking.
You didn't see Kiko Alonso knock the fuck out of Joe Flacco in the playoffs like 6 years ago.
I did. I saw it.
That was worse. That was worse. Is my point. But yes, it was very dirty. Matt, Sunshine, take us home.
Sunshine, go for it, buddy.
Oh, I think that I think everybody knows where I am on this. Florida State, the more snaps that Tate Rodemaker gets, the better he's getting. And I'm excited. I'm excited that he came back in the game. He finished the way that he finished. And also, our running game picked up at the very end of that Florida game. So I think that the offense is starting to click with him. So
agreed. So guys, last year Tate Rodemaker had to play in a game where Jordan Travis got hurt and it all was lost. Do you guys know what that game was? Oh, it was against Louisville at Louisville when they had Malik Cunningham as a quarterback, who was a
way better quarterback than they're dealing with. Well, hold on, I shouldn't say that because their guy's been pretty fucking good this year.
I don't think Louisville was 10.
No, so here's my thought. This is the first time in 2 months where Norvell is not the better play caller. Jeff Brom for Louisville is a genius. He's as good as it gets as far as calling plays, and he will scheme up points. Points will be good, right? They had, to your point of he lost. they had 200 more yards and they had 3 turnovers and a kickoff return. Like that's the only reason they lost that game.
No, I was saying today. I believe Louisville lost today, right?
Yesterday, yeah. But like I said, they had 300 more yards, the turnovers and a kickoff return.
Al was trying to be like, "Oh, Louisville's got their and I was like, "No, but their new quarterback lost."
I see this game as a 6 or 7 point spread, even with Rodemaker. If it was Jordan, it'd probably be double digits.
Dude,
I think
the best 2 players on the field are playing wide receiver for Florida State. So even if Jordan Travis was playing, the best 2 players on the field would be playing wide receiver for Florida State. That's why this game is
Danny,
FSU minus 3.
Let me put this in terms you'll understand. How much did you think Miami was going to beat Louisville by?
I thought we'd lose by 100.
I don't think. I think if you ran the tape back, you'd probably find you saying Miami's going to wipe the floor with them or something. I don't remember exactly. I'm quoting
check out our TikTok
out of context, but yeah, Miami lost that game by 7. So, and then if you want to do another way that you like to do things, Miami lost to Louisville by 7 and lost to Florida State by 7. Therefore, this game will end in a tie.
It'll end in a draw.
And the 3.5 and the 3.5 will cover.
I love you know what?
I just told you.
I almost want to take my pick away because of Al's transitive property.
Yeah, because that's how it works.
Actually, Al, you're wrong. Louisville won by 7, but on the road, so that's got to be worth more points. I think they probably will win this by the transitive property. Miami lost on the road.
So I got a good 5 or 6 points of cushion here.
You got a ton of value. I do think Florida State has more talent, especially on the defensive side. They looked really stout yesterday. Now Jeff Brom he's really good at his job. He's going to score points, but I think Florida State has enough playmakers to make it a 7-point game.
All right, real quick to close this out before we get to the last game. I haven't been able to listen to last week's pod yet. I believe you recorded it before the playoff committee's rankings came out. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So have we talked at all about FSU getting bumped down to 5th? Because I'm curious to see what Matt and Sonny think of it. I think it's bullshit. I actually went to the college playoff committee's website, and it says their job is to rank based on what they see on the field. That's what the website says. And so, Florida State keeps winning. Bumping them down when Travis gets hurt seems like bullshit to me.
I agree with you. I was okay with them being bumped. I do think Washington's win at Oregon State was more impressive than us beating Northern Alabama. So as a play on the field, Washington's had quite the run. I do think this week Florida State should jump back up to 4 because we did cover the spread on the road at Gainesville. Washington had to hold on for dear life to beat Washington State at home. So if we're doing the play on the field, and the likelihood is Washington loses this week, right? That's what the spread would dictate. So I don't think it matters, but I didn't mind it last week. I thought they probably merited climbing on top of us.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. I don't know who. So Washington loses, then you have a 1-loss Oregon team.
Yeah.
Is that what yeah. Okay, and then it's okay. So, if Bama beats,
I'm terrified of Bama winning.
Then where does Texas come in? I don't know. So there's so many. The fact that the playoffs 4 teams is really stupid. That's the thing that they painted themselves into a corner, and now they have to make the best of it.
Agreed. It'll be much better when it's 12.
It has to be 2 or 12. Or 2 are bigger than 4, right?
If
you have 5. You have 5 power conferences, so it needs to be more than
EFL
5.
Cup.
Yeah, 64.
March Madness, baby. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Playing every other day.
All right, and to wrap
on the same field,
the regular season minus Army Navy, we've got Michigan at Iowa, 8 p.m. Saturday nights.
The Army Navy, we're doing the under. We can agree, right?
For sure. We don't even have to record a pod.
It's not out yet, but under.
So I'm the only one taking Iowa plus the points here. Iowa won't score, but I think they can keep Michigan, slow them down more than anybody that they've faced so far this year. Al, why don't you tell us what you've got here?
Yeah, so I think Michigan will score. I really wanted to consider the Iowa team total under here, but it's vastly lower than I was expecting. It's 6.5, and that's it.
You
Might
weren't the
hit.
only one with that thought.
It might hit, but when the Iowa team total over is sounding more enticing than the under, I'm just out on it. So I was like, that means I should lay the points with Michigan here. So laying 22.5, got a little bit better number on this side of the spread. And then along with that, with a total down at 35.5, I'm taking the over. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Michigan covers this by themselves.
Yeah, I think it's that's my fear here too. But come on now, grow up. Iowa overs. Who are you? Like
Iowa overs? Like
I know Michigan's scary, but I do think Iowa's defense is good enough to make it a low-scoring game. I see this being 24-3.
Do you know what else is scary?
Not so fast, Matt.
Michigan's
24-3 sounds great.
Hey, where was Iowa's defense when they played Penn State?
Took a nap that day.
You know who was it?
31-0.
Who was it that Iowa needed a
That's under, bud. I'll take 31-0. That's an under.
No. I think Michigan's better than Penn State. So I think they'll score 36.
So who was it that Iowa needed an interception from their defense to beat this past weekend?
Nebraska.
Right. The same Nebraska team Michigan beat 45-7.
Oh, how many points is Iowa going to score this week? Are they going to score?
That's a fun game.
Or are they going to score 0 points? So it doesn't. I mean, we can argue this either way.
6.
They're going to score six points by getting 3 safeties.
Al, what was the number you would have taken this at, the team total? What's the lowest number?
So in my head, I was thinking it was going to be 13.5.
Oh, come on.
And I would have really liked that. Because I think there's a chance Iowa gets to 13 points, but not above that. And I think 9 feels like right.
Al, we've been friends for a long time. We just can't be anymore.
I'm dead to you. Oh, he left. He's gone. He'll be there. He is.
But
yeah.
Iowa
what do you think, Danny? How many points is Iowa scoring this weekend?
I don't fucking care as long as both the teams combined score less than 35.5.
Okay.
Oh, so you're taking the under?
Yeah.
Because he's a man of principle.
Why?
Right,
so sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
Why? Look, it's like Andy's Nevada. I've bet the under so many times, and it keeps hitting. Like this is just why? Why mix it up? Why make it more complicated than it needs to be?
Yeah.
Because I need to finish higher than Danny.
By the way, if any of you guys finish lower than me, you fucking suck at betting.
Yeah.
Nobody's arguing. All right, so we've got I'm taking Iowa plus the points. Al is laying the points with Michigan.
Hold on. I want to fade the rest of Al's picks just to make sure.
Then we've got Al and Chris on the over, and Danny and Matt on the under.
I gotta say this.
I kind of want to. Fuck. I'm gonna do it. So Al's on New Mexico State plus 10.5. I'm gonna lay the 10 with Liberty just to make sure that I beat Al this year.
Well, so I was gonna say this is the magic of gambling in that this is a game that Michigan's gonna win by more than 3 touchdowns, and here we are deadlocked, about as split as you could be on it. 2 of us on the over, 2 of us on the under, 1 of us on Michigan, 1 of us on Iowa on the spread. So like right down the middle. Vegas knows how to keep you interested.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Danny, going back to your earlier question of can we knock out these 10 picks in 10 minutes? The answer is a resounding no. It took us 33 minutes to get through those 10
so
picks.
Close.
But I had a lot of fun.
It took me 10 minutes to pee. That's.
I had fun. I hope you guys did too. Enjoy the last week of the regular season of football.
Listen to us on Double Time. Do the 2X because it makes it go.
Should we all sing the Chipmunk Christmas song?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Good night, friends.
Good night,
Good
Joey.
night, Lee.
Good night, Kent.
Good night, Matt. Good night, Papa Joe.